Today we're jumping into something that I know causes a huge amount of stress: the UK spouse visa process in 2025. More specifically, the processing times and those notorious delays.
Dreaded delays.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the Home Office has its targets, right? 12 weeks if you're applying from outside the UK, and 8 weeks if you're already here. But the thing is, those are just targets. They only work if your application is straightforward.
And that's the word that trips everyone up. Straightforward. The stress really comes from that uncertainty. The second your case is flagged as, anything but straightforward, those targets just go out the window. So today we really need to unpack those complexity traps and show how personalized legal support, specifically from a firm like Mulgrave Law, can help you navigate all that.
Okay, let's do it. So if you had to point to one thing, one big aha
Yeah.
moment for our listeners about what causes these delays, what is it?
It's almost always the thing that sounds the most basic. It's documentation errors.
Really? Just
Yeah.
paperwork mistakes.
Yes, but we're talking about tiny things. A scan that's a bit blurry, a missing signature, a document that's not formatted in the exact way the Home Office wants to see it.
And one of those small things is enough to just, pause everything?
It pauses the clock completely. Then they have to send a request for more evidence, and you're already behind.
And I imagine that gets even more complicated with the financial side of things.
Oh, absolutely.
We're now looking at that £29,000 annual income threshold that came in this April.
Precisely. And that requires a much deeper level of verification, especially if your income isn't a simple salary. If you're dealing with self-employment or, say, earnings from overseas, that's often the trigger for UKVI, the UK Visas and Immigration Service, to hit that not straightforward button.
Ah, so that's the flag.
That's the flag, and once that happens, you're guaranteed to go beyond the standard 8 or 12 weeks.
Okay, so if complexity is the enemy here, how does getting personalized legal help, you mentioned Mulgrave Law, actually stop you from getting that not straightforward label in the first place?
It all comes down to risk identification before you even click submit.
Okay.
A good solicitor doesn't just check boxes. They do a really thorough preparation. They're looking for things that UKVI might flag. Maybe you had a visa refusal years ago, or your bank statements look a little unusual for a month or two.
I see. So they spot the potential red flags.
They spot them, and then they advise you strategically on how to address that upfront in your application so it doesn't become a problem later.
But what about the fast-track services? Can't you just pay for the priority service and, skip the queue? Does that override the complexity?
That is such an important question, and the answer is no, it doesn't.
Oh.
All the priority service does is put your application at the front of the line for a decision. But if the case is fundamentally complex because the evidence isn't clear, well, they'll just pause the priority clock, and you're still delayed.
So you paid all that extra money for nothing.
You might have. A solicitor helps you decide if priority is even a sound investment for you. They help make sure your application is strong enough to actually benefit from being fast-tracked.
That's a critical distinction. So
Yeah.
preparation is what makes the fast track actually fast.
Absolutely. And if a delay does happen, they don't just leave you in the dark. Solicitors at a firm like Mulgrave Law will communicate directly with UKVI for you. They interpret those complex letters and respond efficiently, which honestly takes a massive weight off your shoulders. So, while the processing times are set, the actual speed of your application is totally dictated by the quality of your submission.
Right. That's really the key takeaway here, isn't it? A well-supported, professionally prepared application is the best way to avoid all this unnecessary stress. And if you are navigating this and you feel like you need that kind of personalized help, you can book a free 30-minute consultation with Mulgrave Law. Just call their London office at 0207-253-7248 or use the online inquiry form.